Welcome to the ARMANITALKS YouTube channel. I'm your host, ARMANITALKS. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every week, I drop 3 videos on topics such as public speaking, social skills, emotional resilience, and much more. Join the tribe by hitting that subscribe button right on below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about negotiation skills, and we're going to be breaking down a chapter from my book, Synergy. This is a book that is going to give you a revolutionary mindset on how to create win-win deals. You want to know something? What would you say is one of the biggest liabilities in terms of negotiating with someone? I'll tell you something. One of it is the I need to win mindset. This is the mindset where when you're trying to create a deal with another party, you're thinking, how can I use my words in a strategic way so I can win against the other person? Now, granted, this is a mindset that could have worked roughly around the 2000s, maybe the 1990s. But in 2020, this is not an optimal mindset at all, because more and more players from the bottom of an organization all the way to the top of an organization, they have more options than ever. So rather than going into a deal and asking, how can I win? It's better to simply ask the question, how can we both win? And a lot of individuals, they never even think to ask this question, because to them, they wave off any solutions. They're like, well, there's no way that both of us can win. Pause. Just try asking that question real quick, and no need to answer it. Just ask it, and let's say you take a day or two break. Immediately, the mind is going to start formulating different thoughts and thinking in a different way. Okay? So try this trick out. But that's not even the essence of today's video. The essence of today's video is something very different as to why negotiation deals don't work out. You want to know what that is? Time frames. Imagine this real quick. Imagine that I'm over here negotiating with you. You really want to go eat at a buffet, and me, I want to eat at Red Lobster. I'm doing a diet right now, and I don't know if I could trust myself in a buffet. So we're over here negotiating, okay? Now, after I've done my whole negotiating thing, I'm like, look, next time we'll go to a buffet, but this time we really need to go to Red Lobster. Plus, they do have a deal called the unlimited shrimp and steak. So you can go to Red Lobster and get a buffet-like atmosphere. You agree. When will I need to know your decision by? Today. Maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes, because we're about to get in the car. Within this example, the time frame was 5 to 10 minutes. Now imagine this. Imagine that I run a very successful company. However, I'm missing a coder. If I can get a brilliant coder for my organization, then I have a brilliant company. You're a coder. So I ask you, hey, we should work out a deal. Would you want to ever work in my company? And now I have the same mindset of the buffet and Red Lobster. And I'm like, I need to know in 5 to 10 minutes. This negotiation deal is much more complex because there are more variables that are involved. In this situation, we're dealing with a career change. And we could even add more nuance to this. Let's say if this coder was to accept, then they would have to move from where they're currently located. They have to switch states. Let's make it more complicated. Let's imagine that this coder is married and his wife has a brilliant career in their respective organization. Let's make it more complicated. Let's say that this person's business is a Fortune 500 company, the company that they currently work for, while you're a startup. Is it fair to give this person 5 to 10 minutes to make the deal? No. And this is where a lot of people get negotiating wrong. They evaluate the deal from the incorrect time frame. In situations like this, one of the things that I bring up in Synergy is that you need to be realistic. The more variables that are involved, the higher the stakes, the longer the time frame that should be assigned. If you create the wrong time frame, that's very similar to going on a date for the first time with someone and then the next day being like, okay, are we getting married? And when the person says no, you're like, well, what did I do wrong? It's the time frame. So in this situation, let's say your business is good. It could be great with this coder, but you don't necessarily need this coder yet. You could give it, let's say, 6 months. But you don't want this person to just sit idle 6 months just thinking over it. Throughout these 6 months, you can create little micro wins. For example, one day you fly this person out to the location where you have your business, and then it's, hey bud, if you were thinking about joining us at this place right here, this would be your parking lot. Most of the other workers, they don't get an assigned parking lot, but we value coders in our company. So I just wanted to let you know. Next time, you once again buy the plane ticket, and you're like, oh, by the way, I just want you to know that we normally don't buy the plane ticket, but if you were to join, like, we would really appreciate your services. So you're over here giving them these little micro wins, but more importantly, you're making them aware. If you don't make them aware about the whole, the special parking lots, buying them the airplane tickets, they're gonna be like, man, this guy does this for everyone. But in this situation, you are creating the correct time frames, you're stacking up little micro wins, you're making them aware of the wins. So by the time that the 6 month time rolls around, it's easier to ask the person, so what's your final decision? This increases the likelihood of the negotiation deal going properly, and this increases the likelihood of you dealing appropriately if the deal does not go through. It's one of those mindsets where, well, I did the best that I could. So this is the main thing that you want to take away from today's video. If you're going to create win-win deals, we need to treat each deal as separate. Are you dealing with a deal that has the level of simplicity of choosing where to go eat? Or are you dealing with a deal that has complexity, sort of like getting someone to switch their careers? By assessing the deal appropriately, we're able to create the correct time frame. And by creating the correct time frame, we're able to move strategically and sprinkle micro wins along the time frame. So if you enjoyed this talk and you want to learn more about the Synergy mindset, be sure to check out Synergy. It's a quick little read, something that you could finish within a day, and it's a beginner's guide into negotiation skills. It doesn't matter which field you're in. Ultimately, you're going to have to deal with people. You're going to have to play the game of politics, but politics doesn't always have to be win or lose. At times, it could be win-win. So check out Synergy in Amazon. It's available on Audible, Gumroad. I'm going to drop all the links in the description box and the pinned comment right on below. And thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.